What's going on, y'all? Host of What is Wrong with the Right Direction podcast. Well, yours truly is recovering still from poison ivy infection. Lucky that I'm in a hotel room. I'd been out on the street most of the time and I got some help and spent a couple of days in the hotel room trying to get right, but lost my job. And good thing from that is I've gotten a lot done on the podcast side. Trying to get the YouTube side, I've got someone that's got work that they've done on it, but I can't afford to pay it yet. Did a podcast on the Devil Tree. Yeah, you can see my eyes are still swollen from the infection. I look like shit. Did a podcast on the Devil Tree a couple days ago. Stuff's crazy. What's going on? Well, it's been a little demoralizing. Like I said, lost my job. Another role. There's only so much I can do. Not having income coming in, there was only so much I could do anyway when I had somewhat of income coming in. But I wanted to retake a live YouTube version of with actual decent internet. The last one I'm going to just delete. Basically, for those that don't know, feel like I crash landed here late May. I had started doing my podcast about February. Go to my podcast to find out how I got revived 3 times. I passed over. What is wrong with the right direction? How that came about. The song that God gave me in the midst of being involved in what I call the portal of evil, which I snap photos at. That's on my podcast website. You can see on my chat. I've got ways to donate and ways to go to my podcast website, which it's on my YouTube channel too. So being crash landed here, I have learned a lot. First off, I thought I knew what homelessness was, even when I was homeless for the first time, where I came up with the idea of the reboot community. For those that don't know, I feel like it's time to draw a line in the sand between homeless and, one is when I was first homeless and working at Kroger, I would get pretty offended by walking into work and people whispering, "Hey, there's that homeless guy. He's living behind receiving." I'm like, "Hey, I can hear you." That bothered me so much, being labeled as homeless, because what do you think of when you're homeless? You think of somebody, coming up to on the street, begging you to give a brown paper bag, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of people that are working and they're homeless. Those that have gone through what I've gone through know that just being able to put your head down for the night without worrying about somebody discovering you and saying, "Oh, you're homeless, get out of here." It's horrible. Those that have been in my situation, first time that you realize you're homeless, you're going, where do I go? What do I do now? So basically, throughout all this, I've come up with the idea of a reboot community. A lot of us are in this because of horrible divorces, which I've gone, or just through life. We all hit rock bottom, or we have already hit rock bottom and have not had a chance to go up. And my idea is a reboot community, where your credit is that you're working. If you can't find a job, we'll have the job for you. Um, and I'm saying we'll have this, we'll have that. I don't have any investors yet in a reboot community. Um, you know, from from the time I was homeless, this is what I thought. I thought homeless um, was exactly where I was at. And then I've been battling illness after illness. Um, I had a brain tumor back in November, and got that removed, and it took a lot longer to recover than expected, and wasn't able to work the 5 days a week to afford the 27% interest and $600 a month car payment that eventually got repoed in May. And being that I needed a car to get to my job, that eventually killed my job, which eventually had me crash land here, where there's a bunch of hotels, a few restaurants, a couple shopping complexes, and this is basically where people are stuck and having to work. I have coined the phrase landlocked. We are locked to the land. We're probably willing to walk about a mile, which most people can, and it's depends on how your job goes, how many hours you get, uh, to see if you can afford an Uber to go venture off somewhere else. Like me working for a Waffle House, I was stuck to that Waffle House, um, and that ended up biting me in the tail in the end. But had I had what I want for landlockers is a means to internet, is a means to cell phones, a means to for transportation, even if it's motorized motorized bikes, bicycle that pedals, and also that goes anywhere between 20 and 60 miles an hour, something like that, for landlockers, and also make it a win-win. You guys have heard my podcast. I'm all about a win-win situation, and in this win-win, that means the organization needs to make money in order to be able to afford to offer things that I want to offer, such as, um, let's go back to rebooting. Shit happens. You get divorced. You're not going to be able to afford a house, alone whatever you have to pay for your kids, just because you need to pay for your kids. And you come to the reboot community. Well, I feel like when times are tough and you need to reboot your life, probably need a month and a half, maybe 2 months to work, save, and to worry about where you're going to stay and how you're going to look upon others and what they're going to call you. You're working and you're rebooting. Um, with that said, what I could see the organization then offering is the next step after. Um, in addition to being able to provide not only a reboot, but maybe a re-better, if you will, a better life. Maybe there's classes that we can do online. Just a lot. What I'm trying to do is that not only if you reboot yourself, but also improve yourself. We shouldn't be punished because we've already been punished. It's like me having the car at 27% interest because I got my butt handed to me in a divorce, and in a divorce that, because I knew secrets, because of who my spouse married, because of the income that he had, because of the wealth, I got handed the bad end of the stick. And there's a lot of people like me or that have made mistakes coming out of jail. We all make mistakes. Um, Being punished through the credit system to me is not, you're not getting a better citizen. I think providing the tools to people, um, with accountability being that you're working, and if you can't work, then I can see the organization being, you know, to Ronstadt almost, like, you got instant shifts that you can work, maybe while you work on your degree, uh, or you work on a certification. You can work and do all that at the reboot community. The next step that you purchase a house. You don't purchase a house for 27% interest or a car like I did. You agree to terms with the organization. It's going to be fair. It's going to be a profit, not a huge profit to the organization, but it's not going to be an interest rate either. And that just is automatically deducted from your paycheck, a lot lower than you would have if you had to go through a loan officer, so on and so forth. That whole rigmarole. I see this kind of like a chime thing. You pay, you keep paying your payments that come from your paycheck, and your credit goes up. And then if you wanted to, you sell your house that you bought or your car you bought through the organization. Most likely, you sell it back to us or anybody else. And then if you want to go and purchase an upgrade that's not in the organization, your credit has gone back down. So if you only rebooted, you've rebettered yourself and you rebettered your credit. And I just think that's more fair. It's really fairly simple. You don't need a bunch of government organizations. We want to feed the homeless, which is great. Believe me, I'm basically homeless, and I could use food, so I don't have an income coming in. So, I could use that instant job from my organization that I want, because I want to work. I want my own money. But we tend to go volunteer on Thanksgiving, and we really feed our own ego rather than we're feeding the homeless, but we're feeding our own ego. I have a new way of thinking. Are you homeless or are you reboot? Or are you landlocked? Being landlocked is what I had discovered a form of homelessness. Had I not had my car repoed, I would not have met the people that I've met here, and also have not discovered another form of homelessness. For those that have listened to the podcast, know that a lot of my messages have come from above. A lot of the weird things that I've seen, I've got a little bit of sixth sense. You can go take a look at the pictures of the devil tree that I've snapped, and you can see that it changes probably from the last time 2 days ago that I did the podcast. It's scary and they're real, and it's good versus evil with free will. And when I crossed, I saw people like me going to heaven, fellow travelers. A lot of people that ruin your day. They come in to ruin your day, or that church that's using God to fund their pockets, so on and so forth. They go into quicksand, and they're pissed. They are pissed off. You have people going straight to hell, and then you have ghosts. These people are more selfish than the people filling their pockets for using God. These people are so selfish they can't see the light. They can't see us. Therefore, they're ghosts. And then I guess you can add a 4B, a fifth is these demons or shadow people that I ended up getting a picture of back in 2016. A lot of stuff that I've had, a lot of stuff, any information I've owned, I've had for a long time, up until the recent stuff. But I'm also calling on, being that I was in the film industry right up till we were quarantined. I'm trying to use the film industry not only to have great content. I'm trying to get someone to write my story. I think my story needs to be told. It is one hell of a roller coaster. And for more details, go back to my podcast. You'll get to hear about it. But there's a lot of content spun from my life story, which would be putting together these communities. Who's going to enter? What's going to happen from them? I just think that's interesting in itself. You just see something more positive, different positive way of thinking, and there's accountability. There should be. Why should we give a turkey, feed somebody when there's no accountability? That doesn't happen in heaven, and it doesn't happen really here, but we let it. There's a lot of gray area that we all live under, and that is a lot of what the song is about. What is wrong with the right direction? Right is wrong, wrong is right. What is wrong with this direction? Listen to the podcast, find out how I came up with the song. And speaking of music, a lot of the people I've met here, which is crazy, I don't really see color. I'm always thinking about a good joke and making people laugh. And I think it took about a month ago when I was filming a video trying to get some content about this area, the block, if you will. And I realized, I'm half Italian, and I call myself half Italian, half cracker. And I will stick out like a sore thumb, even though I got some sun yesterday. Nobody's made me feel that way. I've come in, trying to make people laugh in the midst of a lot of heartache. We're all going through it, and this is such a diverse area. People that I'm with, all in these hotels, all struggling. Some with families, with kids. If we can laugh together, we laugh, we cry, and everyone does everything from waiting tables to, say it, prostitution, to drug dealing. You know what? Nobody judges them. Now I know why Jesus hung out with people like that, because they're the real people. Yet we're sitting there in our, Lamborghinis driving by going, oh my God, can you believe that drug dealer? Oh, man. Oh. Turning your nose up at. Well, that person's doing that because they need to feed themselves. They're hungry. There's just a lot of great people I've met and a lot of talent. And I want to get content of their story, especially with my friend Wunder-Bnon, who I call my cousin. He is black, and I am half cracker. I am half white. I am half Italian. And we're like family. And he's so talented. He's a talented up-and-coming rapper. I'm trying to get, him up and running, where we're getting content of him every day up on this channel. It's probably going to be tailored more towards him and that type of genre. The podcast is what I'm doing is what I call Brunswick stew. If you've ever made it, you get a million ingredients. By the time you take your first spoonful and you eat it, you say, man, this is great Brunswick stew. You just know it as Brunswick stew. I'm trying to use film industry. I'm trying to get these community projects up and running. I'm trying to get some way to fund this so I can get people in my quote unquote portal of good. I've had this stuff for a long time, a lot of this info. It was a day I was a quick trip manager and had one of these people that came in, they knew they're going to ruin the day. They're the ones that are going to be in quicksand, and they're the ones that will stay there because they can't see their bullshit. You got to look in the mirror, guys, and realize you threw someone under the bus that day. You got to own up to it. It's not such and such's fault. It's your fault. You did it. Think about the person you threw under the bus. They might be sitting here, where I'm at. Like the day of quarantine, I had sold commercials. I had done this, all of this stuff in film production. We had gotten a group together that just about to finance the first $1 million. Gotten the okay on that, which is the toughest part. If anyone knows about financing movies, the first tier is the toughest, and then the second $8 million is supposed to be a lot easier. I'm sitting there thinking, wow, I'm gonna dig myself finally out of this since 2016, and make some money. And next thing you know, quarantine, and I called it monopoly money. Next thing you know, I'm working at $9 an hour, and I'm homeless a couple of weeks later. Going, what the hell has happened? Of course, and not only homeless, but I had already passed away the first day of being homeless from a heat stroke, and I was an ex-professional tennis player. So, you know, a lot of stuff in my podcast, a lot of stuff that you would see if my life was written is a lot of messages that I've gotten, and I'm just trying to help. But in order to help, unfortunately, it does take money. Um, and what I should be doing, I should be at the helm of my organization, helping people that are in the same place that I am with a positive message. But hey, if you lose your job, we'll have something for you. Accountability, you know, don't have the proper training, do this until you can take advantage of the reboot community's training or online training, whatever. Um, I need help. I need a lot of help. Um, I'm hoping that I got out on my chat where to donate. I got that finally up and running on my Podbeam. I got to pay for the person that's done work on my YouTube channel, so you can donate there. Um, I really want to concentrate on the landlocked people. We, getting us some motorized bicycles so we can venture out and maybe see our kids, venture out and get a better job that's not just in a mile radius. It's just too much more freedom. Um, just giving internet, uh, cell phones. If you want to donate bikes, you want to donate laptop parts, I can build those and sell that for the organization. Um, just any help and advice, get in touch with me. We'll discuss this further. But, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do. Um, God told me not to hit any more grand slams, just to get on base. And then I'm a teacher and I'm one of his soldiers. Um, and I want to help people like my friend, my cousin. I call my cousin, he calls me uncle. My friend Wonder-Bnon, who's so talented. And I feel like I'm stuck. I can't really do anything. I'm opening up a portal of good so that we get in. It's our own network, and we change the momentum for good. I remember that day at Quick Trip where someone ruined the day, and I shook my head. I remember one guy saying, "What can one man do?" I said, "Well," I thought to myself, I got a big ass mouth. I can, yeah, that's where the portal of good came up in my head. And I started not advertising yet, started coming up with some episodes. And it's been about August since I'm trying to advertise. I feel like I got an idea of what needs to be done and an idea of, you know, who needs to be helped. Um, so share this with people. Um, come on into the portal of good, roll up your sleeves and help me out. Help Wonder-Bnon out. You shouldn't be punished for already being punished. You shouldn't be punished for not being able to get a chance. Now, I was an ex-professional tennis player. I tend to be able to get smacked around and come back because I won a lot of matches I shouldn't have, and I've won a lot of 6-love matches, losing a lot of points during the way. What happens when you lose a point in tennis? Usually kind of analyze it. You breathe in deep, and then you're up at the service line ready to smack a return back and get the next point. You lose a lot of points to win the match. And that's the whole way I view life. I'm kind of like Rocky. I am the Italian stallion. Yo, Adrian. I think I did it, but I need your help. So, um, join me. Yeah, go to my podcast, listen to my story. If you can write, help me write my story. Um, if you got stuff you want to donate, help me get donations. If you got land that you don't know what to do with around here, I'm in Norcross, Georgia. Would love some land for at least to have stake on. Here's our reboot community. You got bikes, donate bikes. Um, Money would be great. We we need we need your help. I need your help to change the way that we handle homelessness. Um, I need your help so we draw a line in the sand. Are you homeless or are you a rebooter or a landlord? Are you working and just shit's hit the fan and you're rebooting your life, but or are you homeless and you're not taking advantage of it? Um, it really aids society's biggest issue. And also think about the citizens that will be put back into society after rebooting themselves, instead of people that are like me, you know, um, you just keep being kicked around lower and lower, and it doesn't do any good. Um, get some people that can get creative without having to worry about, what tree they're sleeping under or what bench. Helping people is giving them the ability to help themselves with their God-given talent. Um, so, get in touch with me, RWB, THERT direction 23 at gmail.com. Please, if you just got advice or you want to tell me what you think of some ideas, or we can go in further depth, please, I'm turning it to y'all. I mean, like I said, I got the portal open. Um, you guys are tired of the weird shit happening each day? Tired of people just ruining your day? You're sitting at a checkout line and you just shake your head? It happens every day. This society is getting crazy. And what can one man do? Well, one man, by one man, or one person can enter the portal of good and help. Enough people we get in our network, we can change the momentum. But that's up to everybody. You know, all I can do is move my mouth and yap about the my ideas, but I need someone to help move my ideas forward. And so anyway, um, I wanted to retake a live show just to kind of go over everything, and I hope everyone's well, and God bless, and I hope to hear from you soon. Take care.